As most of you know, Chrissie lost her dad a couple years ago, but let us not forget that he, along with Bea, Bill, and Janet, laid the framework and instilled into their children love, caring, kindness, and devotion. And it's because they shared with them these values that we are here, so thank you. So how do we define a cousin? Everyone knows what a cousin is, but what does it mean? The definition can vary from family to family and person to person. Sometimes cousins can go months and years without seeing or even speaking to one another. Or they simply exchange pleasantries on holidays and special occasions, and that's the extent of their relationship. But that doesn't apply to the two families gathered here today. No. See, somewhere down the line, someone decided that biannual greetings and distant regards and good wishes simply were not acceptable, and that we should always share all of our love and all of our happiness together, frequently. And that makes us all better. But as strong as I believe in that word and what it means to me, and as much as I love and value all of my cousins, it still does not properly define the bond that Eric and I share. And as I thought about it, the only word that makes sense is brother. Eric has always been like a brother to me. Now, as far back as I can remember, Eric and I have always been close. And when we were young, Eric spent a lot of time at our house. It was usually my brother Howard leading the way, but right behind him was Eric and myself. And we did things that all kids like to do. Played outside, football, baseball, manhunt. And we would even organize bike races around our block with the neighborhood kids. But our favorite thing to do, Eric and I's all-time favorite thing to do, was to sing along to a certain music video. And that music video was Faith by George Michael. And this is in George's heyday. So that video came on TV 10, 15 times a day. And the video started with George. Oh wait, this is cool George too. This is before he did all that weird stuff in the public bathroom. This is like acid wash jeans, leather jacket George. We loved him. But the video started with George tapping his toe on a jukebox. When Eric and I saw that, we knew to immediately drop whatever it is we were doing and get into position and ready to perform. And we knew all the words. We knew all the dance moves. We would perfectly air guitar the solo every single time. But one time, after another flawless performance in front of my mom for probably the 50th time, Eric and I decided that in between sets we would go into my basement and play with this new farm playset that I just got. It was like this big barn with a bunch of farm animals that lived inside. So we went downstairs. He remembers. Right. So we go downstairs. We probably have an hour to play with it in between, when Faith comes on again. We play with the barn, and it's not really doing it for us. So we thought, how do we make this a little bit better? How do we make this barn fun? Because a barn can only be so fun. So we thought, we were like 5, 6 years old. We could pee on it. So we peed on it. And that was fun. But it did not get us to where we wanted to be. So we thought, how do we make this even better? Well, we can yell curse words out. So, to add insult to injury and in our apparent disdain for the farm animals that were inhabiting this barn, we danced around it and cursed. Now who knows what the curse words were? I have no idea. Crap, but that's neither here nor there. And we had fun. That satisfied us. That was about as fun as that barn could be. And it was fun up until my mom, who has a keen ear and can hear kids dancing and cursing in her basement. She rung us up. Time out. 1 hour on the couch. If George Michael comes on, don't move a muscle. She knew how to hurt us. So we're a little bit older, about 12, 13. not any wiser. I'm spending the night at Eric's house. So it's around midnight, and Eric says, hey, Vince, listen, my mom's upstairs. Why don't I get a couple beers and we'll drink some beer? Well, Eric's bedroom, we're hanging out in Eric's bedroom, and his bedroom at 1234 Tyler Street is in the basement. So he grabs some beer, he brings the beer down, we drink the beer. I'm trying to figure out a place to hide the bottles so my Aunt Janet doesn't find them. And Eric says, Vince, listen, take it easy. Don't worry about it. Put them on the floor. We'll take care of it in the morning. If my mom knows I'm sleeping down here, she will not come down and wake me. That's a fair deal. Fine, we go to sleep, wake up. He was wrong. He couldn't have been more wrong. Because at 6 o'clock in the morning, we hear, what the hell is this? That's my Aunt Janet standing over top of us with the beer bottles. I look at Eric like, this was so avoidable. We just had to hide the beer bottles. This is so avoidable. So that day wasn't spent outside playing football, baseball, manhunting, or riding our bikes. That day was spent doing yard work at Aunt Janet's house. I'm pulling weeds like, hey, just put them in a fire. So the moral of these stories is, if Eric and I are at your house, do not let us into your basement. Please, we will pee on your walls, we will drink all your beer, and we'll leave our bottles behind. We are not going to that basement. So the older we got, the closer we became, and the more time we would spend with one another. I'm getting it. All right, so we would, there's late nights on 10th Avenue, middle of the night, flat tires downtown on a school night. You leaving me in your car downtown with a flat tire on a school night. Get the cab and go home. And then you coming back in that cab less than 5 minutes later when you told him you didn't have any money. And then the long tow truck ride home, trying to come up with a good explanation to explain to our moms. Sometimes we would aimlessly drive around for hours on end listening to the same song on repeat. Pink and Blue, Andre 3000. We love that song. We've witnessed a lot of big Eagles wins together, and even more big Eagles losses, sharing a mutual heartbreak, but never straying from our late August, I think they're going to win the division this year conversation. And upwards of 200 rounds of golf together. You always bringing out the best of my game and making me feel like I'm better than I am before you promptly outdrive me by 100 yards. You've always been there for me. No questions asked, and I hope you understand how much I appreciate that. I watched you grow from a shy kid who didn't talk much or like too many people into the man that you are today, who still doesn't talk much or like too many. I envy your patience, your extreme, and sometimes excruciating patience. I watched you become one of the best, most caring, and generally involved fathers, and I will always remind Jody how lucky he is to have a dad like you. I've recently watched you take on challenges that most of us, if not all of us, cannot understand. And these are challenges that test you every minute of every day, and you have met, fought, and triumphed over them, and I'm so proud of you for that. You are, and you have always been, a brother to me and someone that I will forever look up to. I urge Drive to be a great father, and his core values, accountability, dependability, and honesty, are a direct reflection of his mom, Janet. And they continue to get stronger because of Chrissie. Chrissie, it's easy to see, even from a distance, that you bring out the best in Eric. You are a strong, constant whisper in his ear that he can do it, and it doesn't matter what it is. You have given him unbridled belief in himself, and there isn't anything more important than that. Your unwavering love for one another is admirable, and your bond is now even stronger, and we are all fortunate to be a part of your lives. And in closing, we are all here because two wonderful people met and fell in love, but we are also here because Eric and Chrissie are always there for us. They have set the example of what it means to love and care for family. They are always present, always willing to help or to lend a hand. Fortunately, in the pickup truck. If you need help moving, Eric will help you. And they've always been there for all of us, and they've made us all want to be better. And they've given us the most valuable thing that one human being can give to another, and that is their time. Everyone in this room thanks you for that and loves you for that, and we will forever be indebted to you. I love you guys so much. Congratulations. A toast to Eric.